through what kind of the process, and then we can come up with the conclusion. And very luckily, today we have our director of the laboratory, Madame Yang. Hello to all the viewers from Beijing Hospital. My name is Yang Huijuan. So today, Madame Yang will show us all the secrets inside. And of course, I would like to say, normally, before we enter into this kind of laboratory, of course, we need to wear the standardized protective suits. And because right now this is not really officially in operation, and first of all, we need to say that it's very safe inside because we just had a all-round disinfectant yesterday, and no sample testing are undergoing inside, which means everyone right now is allowed to enter. But let's say starting from tomorrow, this laboratory is in service to examine the samples we collected, then it's not really allowed many people to enter. And right now we are here at this area. So this is we called the buffering zone. So what is meant by buffering zone? Basically, you just need to wear your protective suits, and then the staff will go into their post. Actually, you can tell this is kind of a preparation zone. So everyone got prepared from head to toe. So you can see there are a lot of the PPE or the equipment that needed. And of course, we know that the medics, when they enter into the right zone, or the ICU ward, they also have this kind of buffer zone, or we call it that is a semi-contaminated zone. So here, actually, you can think about this is a very clean zone. Just wear what I'm wearing now. It's okay. If you enter different area, actually different room, actually in accordance with a different level of protective requirement. So let's first go inside. This is a reagent preparation area. So talking about this area, so we need to have a reagent, right? So that reagent help us to identify the certain signs. We would like to know whether it's a positive or negative for the virus. So you can see this is a very simple room. And you can see this is the normal standards, and we will bring the agent inside this table, and after it get used to the whole temperature, and then we will have the reagent ready, because some of the reagent actually is quite weak or fragile. You cannot really prepare them ahead of the time, then it's really not active, so which means we cannot really get the ideal results we would like to get. So we talk about this reagent, how we can understand that this is a mark or signal. Think about this ingredients, let's say. So a section of DNA, so that the DNA section actually will be active to certain ingredients in the reagent. And then here, this is the window. You can see it's open the window and put the reagent inside and close it. Because for each area, you cannot directly connect, because different room has different center of protection. So through the walkie-talkie, and we will talk to a staff in the other area saying that please receive the reagent in the window. So if I want open the window this side, then the other side, actually, the window cannot be opened. The other side will be locked if I open this side. So which means for both sides of the window, only one side can be opened at once. So we talk about the PCR. We talk about actually this is a magnified of a section of DNA or RNA of a microorganism. So you need to make sure everything is really, really clean, which means the reagent should be 100% purified. Because if the reagent is contaminated, then we cannot really tell the result we get is polluted or not. So that's basically have some disturbance inside. So we need to make sure the reagent is 100% clean. And look at here. So in the PCR laboratory, for each room, actually I can tell it's different pressure. So look at the area here is need positive pressure. So basically means the polluted article should not enter the reagent room. And look at these gongs. Actually, ourselves, when they're entering different area, they need to put on the specific gong for a specific room. So basically, through the physical distancing or physical separation and the air pressure, that help us to adjust different level of protection. And we come into the second room. This is the specimen preparation area, and this is a quite core area and also a high contaminated area. So which means, so here you need to wear the highest level of protection. So you need to wear our level 3 protective suits. Of course, we also can see that the air pressure. This is the pressure gauge. So still with the different air pressure, we keep the unwanted article inside. And we also have our staff working here. And this is our colleague, Madam Cao Lina. Hello to all. And we know actually Cao Lina actually is here waiting for us, because here is not really a whole laboratory in operation. Everything right now just for the last minute check. So here, would you please tell us a little bit your work? So basically, let's say the sample arrived here, and then you test the samples. Yes. So basically, they put the samples inside a biosafety bottle. And then first I open the bottle, and then I use alcohol to disinfect the sample, and then I put here. I sanitate once again. So you can see I put the test tube inside it. These boxes, that's for inactive purpose. So we talk about, we want to inactive virus, which means virus already killed. Then how we can tell that sample actually with virus or not? Actually, it doesn't matter the virus is alive or not. So we still can test or find out the nucleic acid that we are looking for in the body of virus. So you can see here, this is the box for inactive purpose, so that will not bring dangers to the environment as well as to the person working on this. So can we think about it as like boiling the virus? So boiling actually is need to reach 100 degrees Celsius, right? So here we control the time and the temperature to inactivate the virus. So virus do not need to be alive as long as we can find the nucleic acid in the body of virus, then that can hit our purpose. So let's say here in this test tube, just for example, give you of course this one is clean right now. Let's just give our audience some thoughts about our work. Let's say after the inactivation, we take a 500 milliliter into this tube. So we take that culture inside the tube, and then we also mark it. So you can see number 1. And also to clean my hand again. And then I bring the whole test tube inside this machine. So you can see we put a test tube stand inside this, and we have 2 different kind of the reaction or the. So basically, first one is the releasing reagent. Basically, we would like to a protein inside the virus to be released, and also we have another active resolution, so that is actually also help us to find the nucleic acid. And look at this machine, actually is automatic. So as long as you close the window, then the arm, look at this are the 2 arms. So that arms will help us to do the following work. So we talk about actually, this is the final stop, right? If the machine finished its job, so we seal the tube. So let me give you the whole process. So here you can see we have a test, right? A test tube. So it's automatically bring that to the next level. So basically that will bring, we can see we have a different level of the test tubes. So basically all these automatic. So we talk about the releasing resolution as well as the active resolution will basically add it to the testing tube by the automatic arms. So we talk about actually the protein released from the virus as well as nucleic acid of the virus we can get at the final stop of the final tube. So basically at this room, we first let the virus or the things, ingredients we want to be released here. And then we bring the test tube from this room to the augmentation room. So we talk about augmentation room, basically you think about that for these, or here this is the amplification room. So basically this room would actually help us to enlarge the whole sample so we can find out that a positive or negative result for the virus. So which means this is the last leg of the samples circulating inside the laboratory. So we talk about this area, actually the virus already inactivated and it's not very dangerous because we don't need to really wear a whole head to toe highest level or high standard protective suits. So of course we have specific gown for this specific room. So we also have a staff working here. Hello to all, my name is Wang Hongmei. So this is the room we called the amplification. So just now your colleague Lena told us the process in her area. So for us, the knowledge we only got is this is the last stop for the virus. And look at the whole equipment. So I didn't find any microscope. So how can we tell it's positive or negative for the virus? So basically you have the RNA section sample, right? inside the PCR system, and then the whole tube help us to bring the final sample. Let's say this is what we got from Lena, right? So total 96 tubes. So we talk about here is 96 tubes, right? So which means we can test 96 samples. Actually, it's not 96 samples, only 94 samples. What about the remaining two? We need to put one known positive and one known negative samples to control the quality. So can we understand that basically that's the benchmark? So we need to put the new known samples inside. So which means the known positive and known negative samples inside. Why we need to change every time? We talk about that's known sample, right? That should not be changed. So for each group of reagents that may be varied, but if let's say they from the same batch, which means to use the same reagent. So which means that if that's the positive, then that will be the benchmark for this batch. Of course, different batch of virus, so that also impact the reagent, or let's say the absolute number of reagent or the absolute result may be varied. But if we use the known sample of positive and negative from the same batch, then we can do the comparison inside the same group. So that will be help us to control the result. So this is the ABI 7500 equipment. And then we click here. This is a new examination. We choose a template. So which file we would like to record. So basically here is need to say which is number for which tube. So all the index. So basically here you can consider that's the design of the examination. So we talk about where we put that known positive and known negative. So this is known positive and known negative. And let me show you the result. So this is the setting for the examination. So we talk about a 50 degrees Celsius. And then come to 95 degrees Celsius, that needs 1 minute. And then here coming to this cycling stage. So that's basically the stage for amplification. So, put it simple. We put the test tube inside the equipment, and then everything will give the computer to let it do the job. So basically, we design the setting, everything ready, then we click start. Then you need 96 minutes to run everything. And then that will come up with a chart. Let me show you the one we got yesterday. So we will see the curve. Thank you very much. So for the whole process inside the PCR laboratory, so we talk about all the 94 samples. So when they arrived here, and then till we got the samples, let's say normally within 6 hours, we can get the final result. So which means seamless link from one area to the other. So it total non-stop 6 hours. So here we see right now, including Director Yang, we have a total 3 people working here. And right now, because we received more samples and we need to add more head count. So starting from yesterday, we already recruited additional 2 head count, and we will have more head count coming next week. And I can tell you this is a really hard work here, very challenging. We talk about we need to wear that the level 3 protective suits. Actually, that's from the head to toe protective suits, the N95 masks, and 2 levels of gloves, goggles, and 2 levels of the shoe covers. And if we think we have a positive sample, then we need to wear the additional face shield. So this is, you can see, it's a very small room. One person working inside each area for 4 hours non-stop. And yesterday, Lena actually stayed inside for 5 hours. I can tell you, this is work really hard. 5 hours non-stop. Actually, it's really oxygen deficit. It's a very narrow room with no actual interaction with others, right? Just like forgotten by the whole world, just so dedicated to the work. 5 hours non-stop. Very, very quiet to wait for the final results in a very small, tiny room. On top of that, also wearing the level 3 protective suits and other PPE. So basically, of course, right now we have a sufficient PPE supply, but we still need to save, or let's say we need to use the PPE in a smarter way. So we do not need to really go outside. So which means we need to wait that around 6 hours until the whole round is finished. Basically, when the sample arrived until we got the final result, that totally needs 6 hours. So the staff's actually working inside for 6 hours. And we see it's actually all the ladies. And we talk about actually, of course, people quite detail focused. And for us, we also worked for I studied very hard for 5 years. And we are not really working on the front line. And you can consider us as the backstage heroes. So sometimes we quite invisible, right? So like every day we just face different bottles, different samples, blood samples, both the body fluid samples. So I can tell you it's quite boring work, but it's really need 100% of professional spirit. Thank you, Director Yang. And I can tell you this is a PCR laboratory, and this is in Dongcheng district. So we talk about the samples in Dongcheng district. This is the designated PCR testing place. Right now, this place going the system upgrading, and also we will see more head count added to this PCR laboratory. And I really like to call on all our Xicheng new media audience. We actually rarely see the heroes inside the laboratory. We just talk about the PCR test, the nucleic acid test, but who actually doing that test for us? These are the heroes. when we talk about like the frontline heroes, we not really think about all these people because they may not really consider us the core group, but they actually are the inevitable or the irreplaceable heroes. They are the one we rely on to know the final result, whether we actually contracted with coronavirus or not. At this very special time, they work under big pressure and they shoulder really big responsibilities. And right now we're coming to our second stop, and here this is the Ditan Hospital, and we have our director Xu, and she's working for the Department 2 of Infectious Disease Department. She will show us the whole treatment inside this area. Hello to all. I'm working for Ditan Hospital. My name is Xinyuanli. And for our very first preparation, we need to wear protective suits. So actually you can see our staff, like look at our cameraman, you can see our staff actually already working head to toe the protective suits. So we also please all the audience, please forgive us if the a camera or the a light footage is a little bit shaking because we are right now wearing head to toe the full equipment protective suits. So please bear with us. So this is a surgical N95 mask. So you need to really tighten it to your face, and I can tell you this is really hard to breathe, but this is the normal practice. So this is the protective suits. So this is not my first time to wear the protective suits. So actually based on my previous experience, I wear a fast dry t-shirt inside. And here you can see the stick. So this is quite long, and so we can bring that to the outsole of the shoe. And it's also easier for us to take it off. And then we will wear the gloves, and we need to wear 2 gloves. And also for the easier taking off, we also will actually extend the glove to cover part of the sleeves. So you can see we bring some sleeves inside the gloves. So this is protective suits, and right now this one in blue, that is isolation gown. So you need to tighten it up. So make sure it's quite fit to your body. So make sure your protective suits not exposed to the environment. And also make sure that everything we're doing now also need to consider that it should be also easier to take off. So we will now wear the second gloves. So we talk about the second gloves actually will be taken off together with the isolation gown. So we talk about actually this is the second layer of the gloves. And you can see this is really, really tight. You think about it just very easy, just put on the isolation gown, your protective suits, gloves. Actually, this is not that easy. It looks easy, but for every step, you need to think about whether you actually bring that to the details, you protect yourself well, and also think about whether it's easier to be taken off. And also make sure the goggles really, really tight to your forehead, because sometimes there'll have some fogging inside. And I can tell you right now, I'm a little bit out of breath. So normally, for the a safety consideration, for the shoe cover, you can see actually we're not really wearing one shoe cover and put the other on the ground. We're not really allowed to put that on the ground. So this is the very big shoe cover, and it not only covers shoe, it basically covers part of your legs. And also we'll wear another shoe cover. And make sure it's really tight. Will go with your shoes. And once it's fall off from your shoe, don't pick it up because it's contaminated. All right, and then come to the final step is to check, peer check. So we will see whether our peers wearing all these from high to toe thoroughly and good enough to enter into the right zone. So I'm looking good, okay. And then, very important, our name tag, because everyone look the same. So we wear our name tag here, so we know who we are talking to. All right, so very big briefing to our audience where we are. So here, this is the isolation ward. So the patients stay inside for treatment, and this is also a passageway. We talk about this is the window, so we talk about the sample of their testing, food, everything through this window. And of course, the window only allowed to open one side at once. And we talk about actually inside is also do the UV, has the UV ray, so also for us to do the disinfectant. And we talk about if we want to get the documents of the patients, so we put inside, just say 1 or 2 pages of documents, so we put inside, and then for the sterilization. And right now we also do the bedside ECG, and for that ECG results, actually we can get that result here through this window. So the patient also do not need to go outside. So that also good for us to control the nosocomial infection as well as cross infection. So 2 days ago, we had an interview with a boy actually here inside. He's very happy and very optimistic. And actually it's not 10 yet, it's around 9 o'clock. So it's a very energetic boy. So let's go to the contaminated area. So we not enter through this door. We have the specific door to enter in the ward. So if we enter through this door, that also will conduct some ventilation. We're not really allowed to do that. So we have the dedicated entrance and also the exit. So let's get everyone inside this area. So we get inside and then we close this door and then we shut that door, then it's allowed to open this door. So which means everything we are doing here is we prevent ventilation actually. And where we are heading, we are heading to the ward for treating the COVID-19 patient. I can tell you temperature actually is the same as the outside. And I can tell you actually I'm sweating. And then we're coming to this ward. So this is a corridor for the patient. So this is a contaminated area. So our doctors, nurses, if they want to enter into the ward, they also go here. So here you can see the equipment and also the preparation table for nurses, and also the walkie-talkie. It's a very large area. So sometimes we want to talk to each other. We use these walkie-talkie. So we can see all the equipment here. So we will through the window to pass the different equipment, and you can see the blood gas equipment as well as ECG equipment. And also we also conduct the bedside ultrasound. So we can maybe enter inside this room. So here we go, the boy. This is the boy we mentioned, is 9 years old. Very lovely boy. So how do you feel today? I'm good. Fever? No. What about your throat? Sore? Anything you feel? I feel really good. I eat really well. I sleep well. So anything you don't like, you don't think is not comfortable, I'm good. I don't have homework today because it's weekend. And we also don't have online classes. It's a day off for me. So you're a very happy day, right? Yes. For the whole week, Sunday here finally, I'm free. Free from homework, free from online classes. So how do you think? Our nurses, everyone just treat me so nice. They're very nice. So do you know what day? Why today is very special? Today is Father's Day. Do you prepare some gift for your dad? No, because I'm inside. So I don't know how to prepare, and I actually haven't prepared a gift to my father. So actually my dad is really busy working. So normally actually he's doing his business and I doing my business, and we didn't have really close contact with each other, especially for the recent days. So because of COVID-19, a patient should also keep distancing for at least 1 meter. So we actually, if that a patient from one family, we consider, if possible, we bring that the patient from one family can live together or live nearby. Scared? No. So in the evening, if I just hear myself alone, I'm a little bit scared. So if I have a company, then I'm fine. So with your diet, you're fine, right? Yes. So your school's teachers contact with you? So my classmates didn't contact me because we don't have a WeChat, but my teacher contact me through WeChat very frequently. So my teacher just say, don't be afraid. We would like to see you back to school as soon as possible. Just stay calm. You will be fine. Do you know you're quite famous right now online? Actually, I'm not quite understand that. So I really not really watch TV. So because actually we see your short video and you kept learning and doing your homework and everything, you're quite optimistic, you really have full energy, hope that you'll be fine and be recovered soon, right? A thumbs up to you on behalf of all the netizens. Thank you. So today's the Father's Day. Anything you would like to say to your father? So happy Father's Day. Be healthy. All the best. So a quick interview with the dad. So how's your temperature right now? Everything well? Yes. So when you entered the ward, just with some fever, right? Yes. So for the follow-up check, so we will see the other index, but right now looking like everything is really well. So the indicators for the kidney, lung, liver, everything looks fine. So you do not need to worry too much. So taking the medication. Meditation, and it's really a strong boy. So 2 days ago, we talked to his father. So what his trajectory of movement or the history? Actually, his father visited Xinfadi wholesale market on 14th of June for shopping. They are from Beijing. So on June 11, actually, his father exhibited a fever with 37.8 degrees, coughing, but no chest distress or plum. So his father also did the PCR and showed positive results. On June 13th, he was hospitalized inside here. So his father is confirmed the cases. So for close contacts, they should also receive the nucleic acid test, right? So the kid didn't show any symptoms, but he showed positive results to the test. And the evening of June 14th, he also hospitalized here. Back then, his father actually was in the other room, so we knew that actually the boy's father also hospitalized here, so we bring this family together living in the same ward. So we talk about actually, you can see these virus actually, you always have that a cluster of infections. So we talk about if the patients from one family, we create the condition to bring the patient from one family live together. So you can see right now they are getting better. For the boy, actually talk about you good. He's always saying like, I don't have any symptoms. I'm looking good, just feeling good. The only thing is like the food here is really, really good, and I always eat too much. So you talk about the boy, actually it's really, really mild symptoms. The CT scan is normal. And for his father, actually the CT scan is also good. But his father just exhibited fever and with some respiratory tract symptoms. But right now, on the 13th and the 14th, right now already 1 week after they hospitalized here, right now they are getting better. And I would like to tell our viewers, actually, for the interview for today, actually already I got the approval from the father. So for the other patients, we don't have the permission. We not really ask for the permission, so we will not really interview the other patients because it's their personal information, or this the consider about the privacy. We will not interrupt the other patients. So we do everything actually protect our patients, and we put a close eye on their changes of the symptoms. We monitored whether their symptoms actually is going better or may have some signals for worsening. So talk about actually this round of coronavirus outbreak in Beijing, starting from Xinfadi wholesale market. So anything different from the previous round? For my observation, for especially the situation in Beijing can divide it into 3 stages. One is the thing round before spring holiday, Spring New Year. That's the people had travel history with Wuhan or had close contact with people from Wuhan or from Hubei. So from epidemiological investigation, they showed these kind of a feature. For the second round, as the early March, that's more triggered by imported cases. So here we have our third round here in Beijing. It's more the locally transmitted cases and highly linked with Xinfadi wholesale market, and also we test the positive to the virus from the environment. So right now we don't really want to mention the word Xinfadi wholesale market because that afraid everyone. But actually are people working really hard to find the source of the virus. So it's still unknown. If I look at the patients or look at the symptoms of the patient, and for the first round, it's very clear a lot of family actually all contracted. So look at the family actually had elderly people and also the youngest. For elderly people, the majority actually with the underlying diseases. For the second round, it's triggered by the triggered by the imported cases. So the overseas students. And for the third round, I can tell you that still a lot of people are actually highly linked with Xinfadi wholesale market. Either the tenants in the Xinfadi wholesale market or had a quite a frequent visit to Xinfadi. But still look at the majority actually still the young people for this third round. So the symptoms are not that worse. And then we also found the close contacts of the confirmed cases. We believe very soon we will also can see the occurrence of sporadic cases. Then that may have some elderly people with underlying disease, but still we can tell based on the current situation, actually we not really have many elderly people with underlying disease. For the third round, actually still the majority of the patients right now here, the middle age were the younger ones. So we talk about this round actually started from 11th of June, and we found 2 cases the day after. So it drew everyone's attention, and we actually found a confirmed cases on site, actually all linked with Xinfadi wholesale market. Either they are the sellers in the Xinfadi wholesale market, or they are the buyers, or had a travel history to the Xinfadi wholesale market. And so we have conducted a large-scale investigation, and we also received the information through our cell phone, the text message, as well as whether we had been to Xinfadi wholesale market, and also we conduct a sweeping nucleic acid test. So right now we can see the curve is flattened. We flatten the curve right now, but still we would like to call on everyone here in Beijing. We still need to keep high alert to COVID-19. That is the big help to our medics. So right now, the total confirmed case right now in Beijing is around 200. So majority of them actually with mild and normal symptoms. So far, we have around 200 patients hospitalized here in Ditan Hospital. So we just have a low single digital number for severe and critical symptoms. So please aside assured, right now we actually treat our patients in an effective and efficient manner. For this round, the highest age this time is 70 years old, and we also have 2 younger one. One is 1 year old. So the majority actually here is a middle age people. So which means we have few population with underlying diseases. But still we put really close eye on the people with a severe or critical condition. So talking about treatment, still we don't have any magic bullet yet. We also don't have the vaccine. We still give the life supporting equipment and also the medication, and we also use the medication actually in the 7th edition of the diagnosis and treatment plan or the guidance. So we will look at their symptoms, and we also give a specific treatment plan, and also we give the oxygen therapy to our patients. So let's look at the whole environment here. So I really can tell the audience here. You look at this is quite an open space, and look at the wound. It's more like the makeshift building. It's a fabricated building. So if the patient need to do a test, we have the designated route. So through this door, We bring the patient. Of course, the patient needs to wear a N95 mask and keep social distancing between the patients. And the test that they are doing is a CT scan for the lungs. For the rest, test that can be done inside the ward. Of course, we book appointments with a CT department ahead of time. Make sure the patients do not need to wait outside the CT scan department. So you can see we have the designated routes to bring the patients to the CT scan room. So at 11 o'clock, we had around 15 patients to do the CT scan. So for each different ward, we have a different time slot for CT scan. So this is a cooperation and a collaboration between different departments. I can tell you right now, I just oxygen deficient, and my brain stopped working. So what about your shift? We look at the whole environment and the temperature, and we're improving the whole temperature. We look at the ward. We also have the air condition. And we also have air condition inside each ward. Let's go inside. So this is the express boxes. So you can see some fruits. The boxes for fruits, cherry, bottled water, daily necessity. So this is sanitary disposal room. It's a very small room and with a one air condition. So we had one air conditioner inside this room, and it's also actually the place to charge our walkie-talkie. Let me cool down a little bit. So it's a feel better, right? So only the hand, my hand can feel the cool air, but still the whole body actually cannot feel that cooling environment. And we use this kind of a glove to make, actually we self-made the ice bag. So it's like we put on our forehead to lower the temperature, or hold that ice bag on hand. So this is the whole environment. This is the corridor. And we talk about the patient actually are not allowed to visit other rooms. So if they would like to walk a little bit, they can walk here. No. So the nurses actually will bring the stuff the patient needs. And if the patient just randomly or wantonly go outside, then the whole environment may be contaminated. So you can see the sanitizer, the alcohol disinfectant, actually you can find all over the place. So we really would like to bring that care and warmth to the patient. So we talk about actually you can see the express delivery can arrived here, and also we can bring the patient from one family live together. Of course, we cannot really fulfill all the different requirements. We do our best. So our canteen also fulfill the patient's needs as much as possible, and also have a meal for kids as well as the Islamic meal. Where we talk about the containers prepared the halal food for the patients. If we want to exit the ward, we cannot go through the same door, so we need to go to this one. So this is the whole ward right now here in the Ditan Hospital. And the confirmed COVID-19 patient here in Beijing is hospitalized here in Ditan Hospital. And for our normal live streaming, I can hold my phone and have the interaction with our audience. And thank you, Director Xinyuanli. I know you have a very, very busy schedule, but thank you so much for show us the whole thing around here. So please, everyone said assured, especially the family members of the patients, they are really fine. They're well cared by our medics. Thank you. And then here we come to our third place. This is a large-scale supermarket here in Chaoyang district. And talking about food security or a daily necessity supply, we talk about Xinfadi wholesale market actually is a really large supplier to the daily necessities actually consumed by the Beijing citizens. And because of the temporarily shutdown of Xinfadi wholesale market, the Beijing municipality do everything they can to fulfill the market needs. And also talk about a large-scale supermarket. They also allocate the resources to bring the vegetables, fruits from different places to Beijing. So look at here, people lining up to do shopping. So the store manager is here, so Mr. Guo. So we keep high alert to the COVID-19, and also we have a lot of measures for epidemic prevention and control. And here, this is our first step. So if we control the traffic, if we have 200 people inside the supermarket, then we will control the traffic. So we talk about 200 people. So people here is lining up, which means we already have 200 people inside. So you also can see this is the social distancing. And also need to take your temperature. If your temperature above 37.3 degrees, you are not allowed to go inside. And also the code, you also need to scan the code here to show your healthy condition. So that's the healthy code here in Beijing. And also look at this is temperature. Actually, this is our normal daily practice for the ventilation, for the disinfection, and also here for the air conditioning. We also do the daily disinfection. So we showed the whole picture here to side assure our people so they can shopping freely inside. They do not need to worry about the whole environment inside the supermarket. So we're talking about our staffs, actually also take temperature of our staffs every day, and also for the disinfectant. This is our checking list, and also the staff's letter of commitment. So all the staff working here, they know the measures of epidemic prevention and control. So we control the traffic. We have like traffic limitation. And inside the shopping market, look at the cashier. Actually, we have all cashier available. We had additional 15 headcount just add in. So here our requirements is the machine weight the consumer. We do not need to want to see the consumer lying in line to wait for the cashier. So right now we can see 29 people here working for the cashier. So we don't want to see the lining here. So we need to speed up the whole process so the people do not need to wait in line, so there is no public gathering, or that people can keep their social distancing. What else we are doing here? So look at here, we look at the poultry. So you can see we have enough supply. Let's look at the other meat. So from the premium level of meat to the entry level meat, actually here all from Dahongmen wholesale market. So this pork. So we not only provide sufficient source of meat, and here you can see the masks. So you can see at all the cashier will have these masks, and we guarantee that masks will not increase price. So you can find a different kind of masks, and it's with enough stock. Anything else? That's also in your key focus of disinfectant. So here you always can see the consumers around this meat area. So from the inside of the building to the outside of the building, from the top floor to the lower floor, we have a dedicated people, they're professional wise, to clean the whole environment. And also the staff working at different areas, they also need to clean their working environment. And we talk about that the elevator node, as well as the places that have that high frequent contact. So talk about that these kind of tools, and we clean after each time of usage. So look at this. We have a wipe towel that with Clorox. So we use that wipe towel to clean the frequently touched tools by our consumers. So consumers at the very beginning really worry about whether they have enough supply of daily necessities. So what measures do we have to guarantee a stable supply? Yes, at the very beginning, we can tell that people worry about whether they have enough food to consume. And right now, you can see that no one should worry. So since the outbreak of the Xinfadi wholesale market infection, actually we had a deep studies and also have a different plans in place to make sure that the different kinds of food, like for the meat, daily necessities, the fruits, actually we have our plan in place to guarantee the supply. And today actually we received 12 trucks of a supply, like cucumber. Like we received 3 tons of cucumber today. So we talk about actually for the daily necessities, we increased like at least 3-fold of supply than the previous days. It's a very fresh one. So hello, we are doing an interview. So we'd like to know, since the outbreak happened in Xinfadi, anything impact to your shopping, daily necessities? No, not really. Actually, you can see here we have a lot of different kinds of vegetables to choose from, and very fresh. I just live nearby. I just shop here frequently. So what about the price? Price reasonable. Nothing really changed. The same price as previous days. Thank you. So we can see we have a various choices. So talking about the supply of vegetables, the Beijing municipality also had different measures taken in place and urged large-scale supermarket to avoid price gouging. So as I just said, at the onset of the outbreak, actually my company released a set of policies, actually talking about our suppliers that's coming from more than 80 bases around the country. So you do not need to worry about our supply. And talking about whether they are fresh, actually we have a supply 24/7, so which means they have the supply, they will always deliver to us around the clock. So when we receive the vegetables, they go to our storage, that's low temperature storage, and we also encourage our customers to do a staggered shopping. So the consumer do not need to worry about the vegetables they buy in the afternoon. Not fresh. Actually, everything is fresh. And here is our guarantee. It's our commitment. Now look at these. It's the price. We guarantee that all these price we will make it freeze, which means within 1 month, the price of these 10 items will not change. So basically, that's starting from June 17. So within 1 month, this is the 10 best sellers. We can say this. It's the 10 best sellers. The price will not change in 1 month. This is the commitment made by the large-scale supermarket. So we talk about the shutter of Xinfadi wholesale market. Actually, you can see we not really have a big change. We actually have the 70 trucks actually work 24 hours, 7 days per week. So we also have additional high count, 15 people for us to do the delivery for the whole logistic work. You can see we have the enough supply here on the shelves, which means we have enough staff, high count, resources for the logistic, for the supply. So basically you can see for the whole chain actually is running unimpededly to make sure our consumers have enough to consume. So we can tell, so have a lot of people inside here. So hello to you, you're shopping here, right? So anything you feel change? Actually, at the very beginning, a little bit worried because that happened in Xinfadi wholesale market. And just live nearby, actually not really worried. You can see we have a lot of supply here, and I can choose different variety choices. So today is Sunday, so I actually do a lot of shopping on Sundays, on weekends. So I didn't see the price increase. So for the very short time, because the other markets also closed. But you look at the price here, you can see the very big bag of the vegetable is just around 1 RMB. So to our knowledge, Beijing municipality actually allocates the supply of the necessities from Beijing and also from surrounding provinces and also other provinces. So starting from June 13, Chaoyang District also conducted a sweeping investigation in terms of food safety and security. So we check the origin of the daily necessity, whether from Xinfadi or from other wholesale market. So if from Xinfadi, then need to conduct the following test to check whether it's this virus or not. And also in order to avoid price gouging, Chaoyang District also dispatched law enforcement team to check the price. Of course, that's not only the practice in Chaoyang, and also Chaoyang is not the only one doing this. That's basically the normal practice right now here across different districts in Beijing. Very rich supply of meat. Look at the price here. Around 25.5 RMB. So it's around $4. So it's still a queue outside, right? And also because today is the weekend. So for the people lying inside, in the line outside, so we have 6 staff working outside, and also we actually tell the consumers that they do not need to do the hoarding. So they do not need to do the panic buying, so they do not need to worry. We have enough supply every day. And also they need to wear masks when they're shopping here, and they also need to prepare their health code before entering to the supermarket. So we really would like to educate the consumers that here, because it's an inside environment, it's also with a public gathering. We always put people's health and safety as our top priority. So we always do everything, follow the highest stringent standards. Any suggestions? Which is the best time slot to shop here? Our suggestion, after 11 o'clock a.m. or 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. made the best time, so you do not need to line outside, and everything's really fresh inside. You do not need to wait in the queue outside. Also do not need to wait in the line for the cashier for checkout, because people in our mindset, we also would like to buy daily necessities in early morning because we think the truck just arrived, everything's so fresh. But we talk about right now, the truck actually run 24/7 around the clock. Once we receive the daily necessities, we will put them on the shelf, so you do not need to worry too much. So everything here on the shelf, they are fresh. So we also have a low temperature inventory storage place. So once again, you do not need to worry. Everything here is very fresh. So please do your shopping in a staggered manner. As we talk about right now, the trucks, there's a 24/7 delivering the daily necessities to the supermarket. So we look at the cashiers. So because of the limited traffic, and also with all cashiers available in service, so which means right now we have 29 staffs working in the cashier. So no one waiting in the line, in the queue. So you can see everything's really good going on here. So next week is the Duanwu holiday. So that's the holiday for the Dragon Boat Festival. So for the traditional Chinese rice pudding, or the zongzi, actually also with enough supply, and also actually everything here with a full stock. Everyone should not worry too much. So we can see right now we have first enough supply of daily necessities. Everyone can set assure that we have a sufficient supply with different choices available here in supermarket, and also can see the working hours actually is extended to 10 p.m. Thank you.